Welcome back to the front stretch, rolling into turn number 2, presented by Quaker Steak and Lube at Council Bluffs, the official watering hole of the front stretch. Get over to Quaker Steak and Lube at Council Bluffs for all the sights, sounds, and smells. We're recording this interview on Sunday, March 10th, right at noon, and as I said, sights, sounds, smells, I just thought of a giant plate of Arizona ranch wings sitting in front of me, and now my belly is rumbling. But I gotta focus on talking to our next World of Wheels interview, presented by Don's Auto Repair.
Yeah, Don's Auto Repair is located at 125 East 1st Street in downtown Papillion. You can call them at 402-331-0897. The mechanics at Don's Auto Repair Service do AC, brakes, check engine lights, exhaust systems, oil changes, timing change, water pumps, and most types of general repair and service. Let Don's Auto Repair take care of your vehicles. Don's Auto is located again at 125 East 1st Street in downtown Papillion. You can reach them at 402-331-0897, and they are open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5.
Fantastic. So we finally got a guy on the show that we've been trying for a little while. But ever since the switch to podcast, it's been a little bit more difficult. I think we're going to try to remedy that. But Jack, one of my favorite guests we always have on the show, because you're always great to talk to, always enlightening. And I usually, when I'm talking to outside race fans, I usually quote something you said on our show 2 or 3 times.
What do I quote? What's the quote?
The most common one is that in order for me to drop my tailgate at a racetrack, it cost me $1,000.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's probably a little bit more now.
It's probably more now, yeah.
Dan? Jack, who are we talking to?
Oh, yeah, Jack Dover, the gas man. And then the other one is, it was I-80 Speedway. I think it was a Malvern Bank 360 race. Could have been the end of the Nebraska 360s. But you ended up finishing second or third.
I was going to say third, I think it was.
And you and I were having a private conversation. So I don't quote you, well, now I've just outed you to the entire world. But I think your paycheck that night was like, it was a decent paycheck. It was like $1,800, and you lost money.
Yep.
Because you had to replace 2 tires.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting hard nowadays. It's just like buying groceries. Everything's going up in prices, and before COVID, tire cost us $200, and now it's $315. So you're burning up $115 more worth of tires, and nothing's changed as far as the tire goes. So.
And as far as the income goes.
I mean, I still got great sponsors behind me, and it makes my job a little easier when they help me out. But obviously, costs went up, and I feel sorry for the weekly racers that don't have the sponsors behind them to help them. So I don't know how they do it, but I'm very sorry for them.
A lot of them suck. It's on credit.
Yeah,
and they're not running used, or they're running used tires, not new ones every week.
Yep. And obviously the bigger guys, it's easier for them to go out and win because they can afford that brand new tire.
Yeah.
So.
Your racing has changed quite a bit in the last year. 18 months.
Yeah.
You've gone from full-time driver, having quite a bit of success, running for championships, to now you've kind of shifted a little bit to being a little bit of a crew chief. Is that still the same plan going into 24, or are you shifted back to driver full-time?
No, it's still the same plan. Tim Essison, the kid I crew chief for, we got, I think, 80 races scheduled again this year. 83, I think it is, to be exact. And then I got like 22, 25 races scheduled in my car only. So, I drove for Rick and Chris Bowers for the last 5-7 years, and can't thank them enough for the opportunity. And they said whenever I want to drive their car, I'm more than welcome to. But it was kind of a mutual agreement that, I'm focused on the crew chief thing, so it's not really fair to me, it's not fair to them, it's not fair to Tim, the kid I crew chief for, to try to race their car and work on that car. So it was a mutual agreement to kind of let them do their deal this year, and I'm going to do my deal and see where it takes us.
So how many of your 25 race nights are with Tim?
Well, me and Tim agreed on that same deal. Like, if I'm racing, he won't be racing.
Oh, okay.
So you can focus on your car.
So you're like at 100 plus races.
Yeah. Yep. And
Jesus.
I mean, we did it at Harlan. I ran a 305 car and the 410 car and crew chief for Tim, and we had good results. Tim won the $10,000. I ran 5th, and I ran 3rd in 305. So I mean, we have great results, but the 100% focus isn't there when you got to worry about 3 cars. So
Right.
whenever we race, it's just going to be 1 car only that night.
We haven't had a chance. I'm sure you've talked to other people about it, but we haven't had a chance to talk to you about it. How did the crew chiefing deal with Tim come up?
You ever heard the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease?
Yeah.
He just kept pounding me.
He's got a lot of expectations behind him.
Yes.
I think the expectations are pretty high.
Yep.
I was a little surprised when I heard that you were stepping down as kind of a full-time
Racer.
60, 70 night racer and taking on a crew chief role. But then I also thought, yeah, but he's so technical. Like, you understand the race car so well.
Oh yeah.
That it kind of felt like that was going to be a natural progression later in your life. I guess my surprise might have been that it was this
So early, yeah.
Well, considering he told us about 3 years ago that there might not be any more racing, or 4 years ago he told us that. So
Yeah.
here's the progression.
Yep. And honestly, if we're being real, it's all about the money too.
Yeah.
And being a crew chief pays pretty well, so you got to think about that. And
Pays a lot better than owning a race car.
yes, it does. when I go to the racetrack with Tim, I'm making money. I'm not spending the money.
That's right.
That's
right.
why I went from racing to teching.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just, somebody was asking me the other night about why I don't announce more, and I said just taking some time off after I-80 closed, because it's a lot of work working 2 nights a week. But also, when I work 2 nights a week, I get paid 2 nights a week for being at a racetrack, where most people pay to be at a racetrack for 2 nights a week.
Right.
So it's one of those things that eventually I'll get back into announcing 2 or 3 nights a week. But for the time being, I'm just kind of enjoying it. But yeah, it's an interesting flip of the coin when all of a sudden you're getting paid to be there.
Yeah, and honestly, if it probably would have been anybody else, I mean, it's got to be the right person. I've seen some talent in Timmy, and he's a gasser. We had some good runs this year. He won that $10,000 race out at Harley, but we wrecked a lot also. And I just had a conversation with him last week. It's like he never wrecked before I was a crew chief, like never. And we wrecked like 13 times this year. Terrible wrecks. I asked him, I was like, is it me that's causing you to wreck? He's like, no, I just feel that much more confident. I can go that much faster. My brain can't keep up with how fast I'm going now. So
It will eventually.
yeah. And
Hopefully.
that's
Some drivers it doesn't.
that's what we're going to work on this year. Like, obviously, you've heard the saying, in order to get first, you must first finish. So I told him this year, let's just survive and build each week off that. You all right?
Yeah.
Teach him to put that vodka in that water.
I tried to drink an ice cube.
You got to chew those.
Doesn't work so well. Still sitting back there waiting for it to melt. Okay, I'm back.
So when do you guys kick it off?
April 5th and 6th over in Burlington, Iowa with the IRA 410 Sprint Car Series.
Okay.
So in about 20 days.
So that's when Tim kicks off. When does Jack get behind the wheel?
I haven't fully worked on my schedule yet, but I'm guessing end of April, beginning of May.
Yeah. Plans for this year. I would assume last year was get cohesive, just start working together and start building on the future. Do you guys still have some adjustments to do, or have you guys have set plans of we're going to tour this series and we want to win that championship?
No, we got his schedule made, and like I was saying earlier, we got 83 nights scheduled. We don't have any special series that we're going to follow. We're just going to go do what we did last year and race up in Wisconsin, North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas. Like, we were everywhere. South Carolina, North Carolina, California, Phoenix. Like, we're just going wherever. We're just going to try to get as many wins as we can.
Any 410 races?
For him or me?
Yes.
Timmy's going to run 80% 410 shows.
Okay.
and the other 20% will be 360 stuff. And then mine will probably be 5 410 shows, and the rest will be 360 shows.
How old is Tim, and how long has he been behind the wheel?
This will be his 5th year, and the years, up till last year, he'd only run like 10 shows a year. So he's probably at a total of 150 total sprint car shows, but this will be his 5th year this coming year, and then he's 22 years old.
So he's raced 5 years, but has like 2 seasons.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Like his 150 total shows, I've done in 2 years.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, and I think the number for you was like, you really need to be at about 50 or 60 races to have a cohesive season.
Yeah, that's normally what I shoot for when I race my own stuff, is 60 to 70. That's my goal.
Well, because you're going to have 10, 15, 20 rainouts.
Yep.
So you're going to get your 50 shots.
Yep, exactly.
How's the trucking business going?
Crazy busy. We actually just got another truck. I think we got 8 trucks, which is, they don't sound like a lot, but like my parents say, it's a babysitting company.
Yeah. Managing people is probably the worst thing in this world.
Yes, it is.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are bad.
Actually, I gotta be in the truck later on to come pick that red car up right down there.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Mark Grimes' truck?
Yeah.
By the way,
I grew up with Mark.
I brought it down Wednesday, and I gotta come down at 7 to pick it up.
we must be off schedule because I haven't been ran off the road by you in
Yeah, I
a
know.
while.
You switch vehicles on me now.
I know. Well, and I can't even, I guess I could see through the glass top to see you, but otherwise, yeah,
You gotta get one of those things over there?
not a chance. I want an electric truck. I will not buy that thing.
It's bulletproof though.
Yeah, I don't need that. I've had non-bulletproof vehicles all my life, and I never had a problem with it. I guess you don't have a problem with it until you do.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're wishing you had a bulletproof vehicle. All right, so you're planning on running 25 races. You guys are running all over the country. I assume you're probably going to be doing the High Limit show at Eagle?
Yes.
Yeah.
But like I was saying earlier, one car that night, so we got to decide who's it's gonna be. I'm hoping it's me.
Coin flip or what?
Yeah. We've been doing that a lot. Like
Yeah.
we had the design for his race car. It was 2 different designs. I was like, flip the coin. That's
Yeah.
what he did. And that's what we went with.
It's a tough one for you to answer. Are you enjoying the crew chief more than the driving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really rewarding
Yeah.
when he goes out and does good and can come back and say, hey, that car fit really good, or he gives me the feedback of saying that car was terrible,
Yeah.
and then we can fix it and you can actually see what you did actually work.
I enjoyed that the couple of years I did it. I
Yeah.
really did. You know, making sure all the parts stayed on, 1, making sure it completed the race, 2, and, you know, the top 4, top 5 finish was the bonus if you didn't win, you
Yeah.
know, but
And there's nights I catch myself jumping and, fist pumping, and I never get that excited in a car. And
Yeah.
I do it quite a bit when he's out there.
well, it's because you're doing your job when you're behind the wheel.
Yeah.
The only time you really got excited is when you knew you gave it away. Like, that's when I would always, I'd see you get out of the car and I'm like, I'm going to wait and talk to him. He is not happy right now.
Yeah. That didn't happen much.
It didn't, no. And,
Thank God.
The last couple of years, especially at I-80, I mean, you were the king of I-80 for the last 5 years.
You see that picture yesterday of it?
Yeah.
Very
And
sad.
I'm not kidding, I cried a little bit. I sat there last night after sitting at the World of Wheels all day, and I just looked at my phone, and I'm just thinking of all the great people I met there,
All the great races you saw.
the memories, and just, I took it for granted that last night, I gave Chris Krug a lot of grief because he went down on the front stretch and grabbed some dirt, and I got a couple of little memorabilia pieces, but
You don't want to talk about him again?
I don't I don't want Lisa to take them away from me. I'm still scared of her 2 years after my employment ended.
Dave, our other crew guy, he did the same thing. He went down and grabbed some dirt. It's just it's like Sunset. I wasn't around when Sunset closed, but this is the first track that I've actually been a part of that closed.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. You don't want to believe it.
It's 2 years later. I'm still like, I'm waiting to get that call from Joe of let's get the announcer schedule together. We got to get this together. Here's your script for the sponsor reads, and I still kind of wait for a little bit, and
Yesterday's picture kind of ruined that.
yeah, but I do not miss the 70 steps up to the announcer's booth, especially before we got the new booths, and there wasn't a bathroom up there.
Up and down, up and down,
Oh
up and
my
down.
God, there was at least 12 to 13 trips a night.
Jump out behind the booth and right over the railing.
No, we put an end to that real quick when some kid got peed on.
Ooh.
Yeah, that got put to an end real quick. Because
That would have been fun target practice.
a previous announcer would go into a Gatorade bottle and then would dump it over the side. And some little kid got rained on.
I wonder if that family got free passes for the year.
Probably not. I don't know if I'll leave that story in there or not.
They complained, so
I
they
guess-
probably got told not to come back.
So that got put to an end real quick. But yeah, it was a lot of yelling at the scores, please delay, dropping the microphone, running down to the bathroom, and then running back up again, and then trying to announce the lineup while you're just sucking so much oxygen.
Nothing wrong with a little
But,
exercise.
yeah, but what a great track. I mean, I never would have been this good friends with you, Stu Snyder or Jake Bridge, had it not been for ID Speedway, and just the nights that we spent just having a beer, and not even having a beer, just chatting and BSing and teaching me about racing, and yeah, it was that was a tough image to see.
Yeah, I wish somebody'd open up another one.
Yeah.
Because they're coming hard to find.
They are.
All we got left is Eagle now.
Yeah.
That close
Yeah. Right.
Look cool.
in Harlan.
You know, but yeah, for the Omaha area, it was Eagle and I-80, and that was a 15-20 minute drive down the road to go watch some great dirt racing. They do it. Both those tracks did a fantastic job of getting done by 9:30. Most nights, some nights like the Cornhusker Classic, when we would start at 6:15 and not finish until 1:35. But that was a crazy stat, that last Cornhusker Classic. There was 330 some cars checked in. We dropped a green flag on a race every 6 minutes.
That's pretty impressive.
That is nuts. And I double checked the math on that because you know me and my math.
Are you good at it?
Not very good.
From Iowa, come
yeah.
on.
And it's tough because it's not 100. It's you got to every hour is 60 minutes. So you've got to it gets a little confusing. But 20 years in radio, I think I got it right. Thank those great sponsors that are helping you guys out.
Certified transmission, Backlund Plumbing, Speedway Racing Engines, Linkfeld Overhead Doors, Carpet Land. There's Triple S Motorsports. I think I say it every time, but we got like 28 partners, and that was the hard deal. I had to call them last year before I took the crew chief position and make sure they were still on board, and if they were okay with me doing that. And that just shows how good of sponsors and partners I got. They all stuck on board.
I got that trucking outfit call. I know I'm off.
Oh, okay.
No,
Liquid Trucking.
nope. But I told them what I was doing, and they all stuck on board with the same money and everything. So that was really cool. And like we were talking earlier, like the $315 tires. If it wasn't for them, I don't know how many races I could do a year. So just very thankful of them and where I'm at, and try to surround yourself with good people. That's what I do.
We are going to talk with Travis Johnson coming up. Well, we talked to him yesterday at the World of Wheels, and we're going to play his interview coming up in a couple. Is that interview at? Actually, I think it's coming up next week. But thoughts on World Racing Group taking over ASCS? Because you're a former ASCS touring driver.
I think it'll be good. I mean, obviously, you see how good the Outlaw Tour is. I mean, a lot of people follow it. It's on Dirt Vision, so it definitely can't be any worse than what it was last year. So, with ASCS being on Dirt Vision is going to help the drivers and everybody, and then having a series like World Racing Group run them, I think it's only going to make it better.
Yeah, I think I agree. It lends the possibility of being a really great thing. I think they've got an opportunity to make some adjustments to it that could create a feeder group or a farm league for the 410s and for the World of Outlaw sprint cars.
Yeah, I don't see it doing nothing but grow. I think it's going to be good for the future.
Yeah. Jack Dover, driver the number 53 sprint car throughout the area, and crew chief for, what's the team's number?
14T.
That's right, 14T.
Tony Stewart.
Stan would have known that. Thank you, bud. Always good chatting with you.
Thanks for having me.
We are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. Turn number 3. We're going to get you set for this weekend's race at Richmond. Hang tight. Dirk and I are going to be right back.